I'm delighted to introduce to you today Ambikha Devi, a student of mine from Hong Kong. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ambikha.
Thank you, Lama, for having here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to be in this interview.
Let's dive right into it. You have been on various Qigong summits before. You've been interviewed, and of course, people ask you about yourself and your personal history. So perhaps we're not going to do as deep of a dive into your personal history, but perhaps you can give us a bit of a synopsis of what your background is and how you got involved with energy arts.
Yes, yes, it was. Thank you about that, Lama. It was 23 years ago when I dived into the healing arts. A, a situation arrived into my life that really allowed my consciousness to break through open, and that allowed me to seek a lot of healing modalities. I started off with yoga. I have a master's degree in yogi science and philosophy, and I studied in India for that because I really went, dive deeper into the yogic study because that's been the foundation of my when I started seeking for healing and understanding of the I am question. Yoga was there to really open up that door for me. And from that place, I venture upon many other healing modalities like breath work and energy work, like Reiki, and I love dancing. So I dive deeper into dancing, especially conscious dancing, and found that there's a lot of healing aspect in dancing consciously as well. And then through my journey, of exploring different modalities and embarking into the continuous journey for my healing path. I come across Qigong when I was in Thailand. And yes, and I attended this class, and it just one class, and it reminds me of like this beautiful dance between that I can incorporate through my yoga practice and also my dance. So when I encounter qigong practice, I was so interested about this practice immediately because it's so familiar and it's so easy, and it's almost like a marriage of yoga and the dance and the healing works, as well as the breath. So that's why I dive into this practice. And since then, I've traveled to China in Wudang to study with my sifu there, and live up in the mountain for some time. And now I'm here in Hong Kong studying with my sifu here, that is also passing his own lineage and teaching to me and also to the community here in Hong Kong. And at the same time, um, with my personal practice with yoga and meditation, and bringing in the therapy work as a totality of my work as well. And now with the coaching, Qigong coaching program that I've learned from you, now I see all of that coming together and incorporating and integrating this beautiful modality that I can offer more to my students, to people that are in need of this type of support, especially in this critical time during the pandemic era. So it's really, really blessed that I have all this support and knowledge and wisdom that is passed down to me as I go into my own journey of discovery and healing. Thank you.
Well, you've been truly blessed with lots of opportunities to learn and grow. And I'm sure you also had challenges along the way too, didn't you?
Yes, I have a lot of challenges. Yes, that's right.
We think that, oh, Qigong masters, Qigong teachers are so blessed. They have no challenges. They just live in the flow all the time. And of course, that's not really true. And so we probably have more challenges than many lay people. And so that essentially is something that I think would be interesting to look at, both the challenges and also how you overcome them.
Yes. Um, of course, first of the challenges that I've encountered that pushes me to the open and embark into the healing journey is about understanding more about my emotions. I've went to the point of my life that I got so overwhelmed with the emotion, and I don't understand how to deal with them, and it's affecting my life, my relationship with myself, and people around me. Although I was already practicing a lot of healing arts that time, but that's I was just doing it in the physical level. I never understand the emotional level and the energetic level and the spiritual level of of what's happening in my body as I purify my physical body, doing all these asanas and breaking my body into pieces by going to difficult poses. Things are being stirred up inside me, and that's when I've expanded more because I feel like I love the wisdom and the teaching of yoga, but I feel like it doesn't go deep enough to my emotion that I allow me to understand. Now that I understand that my emotion is actually a doorway to the depth, to understanding the even more of the depth of my being, and then understanding the energetic level that is associated with understanding with the emotions. So when I understand that, my teachings have expanded because I understand my students as well as they are going through their emotion that's affecting their practice, that's affecting their lives. So I'm able to share to them about my experience, about that, each everything that we practice, especially from my experience, the embodiment practice. We are, I mean, I am experiencing purification in different levels. First from the physical, and then to the emotional, and then to the energetics, and then this goes up higher, just like in yogic study, the study of the seven chakras, right? And I understand it's also the same in qigong practice, but we only practice with the three energy vortices, right? As
Depends on
well.
the style of qigong. And
Uh,
Chinese qigong, you're right. There is mostly focus on the three dantians.
yeah.
Tibetan qigong, for example, which I happen to teach and practice, is it comes from Tibet, which is kind of smack geographically in between China and India, and it got influenced by both traditions of the Chinese civilization as well as Indian. So in Tibetan Qigong, actually, we work with chakras, all the chakras that are known in the yogic tradition.
Oh, interesting. That's good to know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and these chakras also correspond to certain states of consciousness, to certain holding patterns that allow us to understand the health ramifications of energy blockages and how to release those energy blockages. And so that also becomes a body of science in its own right, where we can basically help ourselves or others discover why is it that we have these energy blockages and how to address the root causes of those so that we don't just try to kind of push the energy through the blockage thinking we know where it should go. I just need to get rid of this stupid block. And that's something that perhaps is also related to Reiki and some other energy healing practices you're familiar with, because in Reiki also there is like a degree of trust that energy knows where to flow, right?
That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's really interesting that you also. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's something that I would imagine we can dive a little bit deeper into. For example, when it comes to doing therapy with your clients, what would you say is the difference between doing therapy as opposed to doing coaching with them?
I feel this is something that my greatest discovery of diving into your coaching program. At the same time, seeing myself also, how can I integrate the being a coach in my therapy work? And during this time, I know that I've shared with you a lot of time that I'm being open with you about this is what I'm discovering. These are my challenges, and I'm not sure. This is where I got stuck because I'm not sure I could go past through these challenges to integrating coaching and therapy. But towards the end, I finally been able to break it through that through my therapy work because I work with emotions, yeah, supporting people to um, understand and process their emotion as a doorway to gaining clarity of the root cause of their issues. And from there, we just venture from that place. And there's really no plan, in this therapy that I do. We go in there, and it's everything goes. Right?
Whatever
And
pops today, that's what we're
whatever.
going to work with.
That's right. Yeah, whatever pop up today, for example, I have a pain in my shoulder. Okay, let's go there. What's the emotion there? And then and and from there we go in, and that goes to the, childhood, and maybe past lives, or yeah, we go deep. But then in the and in your coaching program, I understand that it's all about planning ahead of the future, and and understanding, okay, there's a struggle here in this moment right now, then let's visualize where where we want to be, or where you want to be, so that you can come through the struggle. So it's all about moving forward. But my work is, let's go back to the past and see what's happened in the past that's affected your present reality. Then here comes the coaching. Then let's plan how can we move forward from here, so you don't bounce back on that same situation you were in. So this is how I able to merge my therapy work and qigong program.
Brilliant. Yeah. Quickly on timeline, coaching pertains to mostly what we hope to experience in the future and basically make it happen. So if therapy is needed in order to progress any further, great. Then we need to receive therapy to heal whatever ails us that stems from the past. But then now what? Now you have the capacity, you have the motivation, you have the skills or resources. How are you going to make your life better? Or how do you make this world a better place? And that's where coaching comes in handy. I would say there is one more, a very specific distinction, in that the coaching addresses the way we need to be in order to manifest and live our dreams. So it's a very ontological way of basically reworking, reinventing ourselves, discovering who we would rather be if we were actually to achieve what we are here to achieve in this world. Does it make sense?
Yes, definitely, that makes sense. Yes.
But then embodiment is the next challenge. That's basically kind of like
Yeah.
the marriage between therapy and coaching, or maybe even conscious dance and coaching, because literally conscious dance is about movement. Well,
Yes.
learn how to embody through movement that new way of being, because you are the way you move. So if you move in a different way, you operate in a different way of being.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's take a look a little bit more at how you work with your clients and who your ideal clients are, first of all. Who would you say are your favorite clients, or the people you would like to attract as your ideal clients from this point on?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, my ideal client, of course, is those beautiful people that is also resonating with the same journey that I've been. And here in Hong Kong, mostly I'm working with women. It's not a preference, but it seemed to be women that is attracted, to my work. Um,
To
and
you. So that's the reason that the other women relate to your experiences better than men.
yes, yes. But I have some, a couple, and I have, a couple of men also working with me. But what I really wanted to attract is people that, especially when they're on the verge of um, their awakening process, like they're asking, what's going on with me? This emotion, I don't understand what it is. I want to understand. I want to become better of how I react to triggers, about relationship. I can't deal the energy at work. I don't seem like I fit in. So these are the type of people that I'm my ideal clients, that are ripe and ready and hungry, and wanted to understand. what's happening in their life, what all these changes is, what are the emotions, and understand that they realize that they have a better they have a higher purpose in their life. They just don't know what it is. So my support is to support them, make a jump, take a leap, and understand like, oh, I have already everything that I have. I just have to get through the fear. So it's just the support for them to support themselves so they can realize who they want to be and where they want to go, and when they can going to do that. These are my ideal clients.
That's fascinating. Well, and the leap that you're talking about, I would hope that it would be taken in a number of baby steps. So people
Yeah.
don't just leap hoping that they're going to get somewhere where they would rather be, but rather take little baby steps in the right direction, because it's much more manageable, a lot less scary, easier to maintain momentum, but at the same time easier to adjust, course correct if necessary. Because sometimes when we leap, we make an assumption that we're going to land in a better place. It's not always guaranteed. And so taking smaller steps is always easier and more harmonious of a journey than taking a large leap. But I'm sure that people who you work with understand that as well, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, the big leap is actually the last. That was the result towards the end of a long process already. That was just already the result. Sometimes we'll go for 2 months of working together, meeting once a week, going through, going deep into life situations, talking everything about what's happening in their life, and trying to understand where are the struggles there. And this is where I feel coaching can really, really help and support with that, through, walking with them through this path and into their life, and creating more understanding, and offering more resources for them, so that by the time they're ready to take that jump, then they know they have a place to land.
And coaching, especially if it is informed by other Qigong studies. Obviously, you kind of took a leap yourself into the coaching program, and bypassing the basic, intermediate, advanced Qigong programs that usually people take before getting enrolled in the coaching program. I just kind of assume that you have a substantial background and you will do great. And I'm sure you do great. And there's also something that helps make it even greater, and that is the embodiment practices. And those embodiment practices, you probably have quite a few under your belt as well. So perhaps you can share with us a little bit about how people would actually walk the talk when they say, I am ready for this transformation. How would they actually embody that in their physical bodies, in their energy fields, and through their actions? The karma,
Yes.
the yoga of actions.
Well, I can just give an example, if that is
Sure.
okay, for one of my students that has just happened here. She came with an issue of, I feel stuck. I'm living with my parents during this whole pandemic. I can't live with them. Then I realized that I don't want to be here. They keep triggering all the childhood stuff with me, but I feel stuck. I don't know what to do. So we did a lot of work, and we understanding that coming into the power, that you always have the power, and at the end of the day you have this, resources, tools, and to make a choice. So I received a message for her that I'm moving to Thailand after our sessions. I'm gonna talk to my parents. I'm gonna tell them this is what I want to do. They can't tell me anymore to run how I run my life. I recognize I have my power. I'm moving to Thailand. I'm gonna live there. So after a session, I'm gonna book a plane, and that's it. That's an immediate result.
That is a great example of empowerment.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and yourself, not like you are going to be at the same place for a long time. I understand that you are also planning on moving to another country. So, can you tell us a little bit about how that is in your visualization and your imagination is going to pan out? Like, what's the new normal, so to speak? Like, we are all going through transitions thanks to the pandemic, thanks to all kinds of other changes. Nothing is the same as it was just a year ago. So, tell us a little bit about your dream of what you intend to manifest.
Yes, yeah, wow. This I've been in Hong Kong for the last 23 years, almost most of my life. And for the last 10 years, I've been traveling extensively, teaching, working with our teachers and trainings, retreat, workshop, Europe, US, China, Thailand, Philippines. But then during this pandemic, I came into a realization that, wow, I have this land in the Philippines by the water. For the last 7 years, it's just sitting there. And as I see the world move into this big change, big shift, and there's this, a lot of issue around food and food supplies and home, community, resources. And it's just clicked to me. It's like, what am I doing? I have a land in the Philippines, fertile ground, very good soil to farm by the beach in a tropical island in Palawan, one of the beautiful, beautiful islands in the Philippines.
Right.
And I'm so the vision, the dream started while building a retreat center, building a community, growing my own food, and my work is I've already started transitioning all my work online. So I just gotta have a really good internet, and it's like wow. And then when I started visioning that, things are starting to fall into their places. I started moving. I already started that step of moving, packing my stuff, saying goodbye to all my community here, my students, letting them know my plans, my movement, my family, getting my family ready. And yeah, and then and in maybe 3 or 4 months, I'll be moving back to the Philippines and completing my time in Hong Kong, and jumping into the next adventure into my own land in my town.
Marvelous. Next adventure sounds really great. And luckily enough, you also have the new resource called Qigong Coaching that allows you to work with people long distance, no matter how far or close you may be geographically. As long as there's an internet connection, it's easy to do. And that's something that I really hope that is going to support you throughout all this new adventure. There are, of course, all kinds of other new things happening. Like, for example, students don't go to schools anymore. By and large, they just receive education online. Even doctors, most of them actually start seeing patients through telemedicine sessions instead of face to face. And most people don't go to work. Nobody is working at offices, at least at this point in time. People just work remotely from home. And the whole idea of gig economics or gig economy, people basically working for themselves, making money, doing something quite different from what used to be normal, like getting employed and working for a company. That's something that obviously is not going away anytime soon. I think it's going to become only what we call new normal. What would you say about another aspect of new normal that perhaps you have some really great points of view on, and that is people become much more conscious of their health thanks to this pandemic?
Yes.
What do you think of that? And perhaps maybe you can even walk us through some practice that would empower certain areas of the body that may be affected by coronavirus.
Yes, the health is become a really, really big priority right now. Especially, I mean, what I've seen in my environment, people are getting more into, we're moving more, we're going more. People are going more into nature a lot. I camp a lot. I've camped 4 times already, last month, and yeah, so we are embracing more. We're moving more towards nature. We're conducting our classes in nature. We're doing our workshop and retreat in nature. People are eating more. taking care of their body more. And yeah, they are more willing to listen to their body and to listen to those experts that's been doing this work for a long time to help people become aware of their health and being conscious of what they put it into their body and how they've been living their life that is affecting their health and the way they are living their life. Yeah. So yeah, so I've been practicing here with my Sifu, and he shared with us some practice to strengthening the respiratory system. Um, my Sifu doesn't speak English.
That's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, so my Sifu doesn't speak English. I don't speak Cantonese, so we get along really well. But
So you telepathically communicate.
yeah, I think they communicate. Yes. But he said that teach this to your student. Tell them this is anti-COVID practice. You can also do this while you're sitting. If standing is a struggle for you, and feet on the ground, finding your center, focusing in your chest, in your lung area, and establish your breathing from here, feeling your groundedness into the earth. And then spreading your palms to the side, palms facing down, the beginning, and then doing that twist, twisting to the right side. But then your right hand, but in your left hand are starting to do this movement. So left hand lengthen, the other right hand kind of like opening up to 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 facilitate the opening of the chest and the lung area. And notice that it's gathering here into the center. And you incorporate it as well with your breathing.
Any particular pattern of breathing?
Sorry?
Any particular pattern of breathing?
Just breathing in as your hand meet into the center, and on the exhale, when you open your chest, you can breathe into your nose or into your mouth. But feel that opening, that you are expanding your chest each time you spread you open your hands to the side. And then when your hands meet at the center, feel that you're gathering that breath in. And then you're opening it up again, your chest, your heart muscle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Gathering the breath to the center, opening your heart and chest, rotating. And if you are standing, this is also really beautiful. That is rotating and is stretching your lower back, your chest, your shoulder as well. So really feel this gathering of breath into the center, and then when you open, feel that opening of your heart, your lung, your chest muscle, your heart muscle is rising up into the sky. And this is really beautiful practice when you practice this outdoors in the park, when you're facing a tree. So you're really engaging that energy, this beautiful inhale and exhale, that beautiful exchange of breathing in and breathing out. So I will also invite you, if you are standing, bend your knees a little bit, stay grounded in your feet, engaging your core a little bit, and soften your spine, soften your movement. And this is also can be a really meditative flow if you close your eyes. Imagine that in the center, you're holding that chi ball in the center, and then you're letting it go. And you open your hand, breathing in, gathering the chi ball into the center, rounding it up, opening it up, and then open your heart, your chest, breathing in, welcoming that breath. And focusing all your attention, your energy into your heart center, your lung, your chest, your breathing. This is such a beautiful practice in the morning. You can do this when you wake up in the morning before your practice, and then again going to bed just before you go to sleep. You can do this practice as well, and you will see that you will have a really beautiful, restful sleep. Yeah, you can do this as many times as you want. My seafood told me here, do this 100 times.
100 times. Well, it sounds very Chinese. Sure. And if 100 times doesn't work for you enough, well, you need to do 200 times because about do it 365 times once a day for the whole year.
But that was just only for the right hand. It said, do this 100 times on the right hand first, and then another 100 on the left, and then another 100 on the left. To really open the right lung, and then for the left lung, another
Oh, okay. So, and if a person has any mobility issues with one arm, then they will only open one lung
yeah,
because
or
the other one's just not going to work.
this.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a lovely practice. Thank you so much for sharing it. And that's something that we can obviously also play with. So, in other words, just like in conscious dance, we can
Yes.
incorporate it into an exploration. And through exploration, that's how I usually address these practices. I don't call them exercises or forms. Let's look at this as an exploration. Let's see how it works. Let's understand the principles. Let's see how these principles can be applied the most efficient and effective way so that we spend the least amount of time and effort and get maximum results. Now, that usually requires also comparing. So if you check how this practice works, let's compare it with the effectiveness of another practice and see what works better for you. What works great for one person may not work so great for another person. That's why Sifu or a master is known for creating his or her own style. Why did they create their own style? Because whatever they learned previously from the Sifu apparently didn't work so well. And so they had to create something that would work better for them. Obviously, if they created something that didn't work better, then they would just abandon that and just forget about it. But if something that actually worked better becomes the new style or new form or new technique, people start referring to them as master and Sifu, and they revere them for their genius. Well, that's something that I teach and practice, how to actually tap into that genius, because very few people in our community in Qigong and Tai Chi world teach how to become a master, how to dispense with old or improve upon it, or maybe even get creative and discover something new. That's something that obviously would empower people to become masters in their own right. And that's something that obviously you are exploring as well, Ambikha. So I'm really delighted to work with you. And I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to share what you do with other people. What would you
Yes,
say
thank you, Lama.
would
So
be the best way for our viewers to learn more about your work and perhaps to sign up for your coaching too?
well, they can reach me through my website, and they can find out all the stuff that I'm offering there, and also a bit of my journey and offering in ambika.com. That's ambikha.com, and also they can reach me through my email, which is ambikadevi@yahoo.com. And I'm active in social media in Facebook. They can also reach me there, Ambika Devi Karma Yoga. And I have a daily meditation every day, 9 a.m. Hong Kong time. And I guess it's night time, the other side of the world. So if they want to join me there, that would be great. And yeah, I'm available now for coaching programs, and those who are being called to work with me, you can also reach me. And I guess Lama will set up a website for us where we can book our schedule, right? Coaching
Yeah.
program. And yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your work and about yourself. And it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate you also teaching us practice. It's lovely.
Thank you so much, Lama. So grateful to be here. Thank you so much.